about second breakfast.
Time for second breakfast.
What's up, everybody? Monster from Breakdowns for Breakfast here with another installment of Second Breakfast. Thank you for joining me today. So, if you listen to our most recent episode on Scrape's album, New Killer America, you will remember that Danger brought to my attention that Spin Magazine posted a list of the top 30 nu metal songs of all time. And Scrape, their song Waste, happened to be number 29. And I told him, depending on what was before or after that, maybe it should be moved a little bit. Well, he told me what was before and after it, but I had mentioned that maybe what I could do for a second breakfast is a bit of a blind react to that list. So what I did was, and let me tell you, it was not easy because I had to do it basically by myself, half not looking, basically, trying to copy and paste from a couple of different websites to get the list without seeing it and being able to paste it onto a Word document without looking at it. So I really did not get a good look at anything. I saw like lines, basically. So I, honest to God, do not know what any of these are other than 30, 29, 28. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this as blindly as I possibly can and go each one down the line and let you know my personal feelings, if I think it should be higher, if I think it should be lower, regarding number 30, if it's even nu metal. So let me know what you think to this list in the comments. Also, for those of you watching this video, you will see what shirt I have on. This is a prediction for what I think the number one song will be. If you see the name of the band here, you can guess which song it would probably be related to this band. I'm not saying it's my number one, but I'm saying I bet that's what Spin Magazine is going to call number one. And for those of you that are just listening, well, you're just going to have to take a wild guess at what I'm wearing. So at the end, I will reveal it. So, stay tuned for that big reveal. I know you're excited. So anyway, one more caveat to this. This was posted, I believe, May of 2017. So these are definitely going to be probably 95 to 2005. That's probably where the chunk of these songs are going to come from. And I guess for most people, that was the quote unquote heyday of nu metal. So it probably makes sense. Now, Monster, he has seen plenty of great nu metal come out in the past, 10 years, but I digress. This is Spin Magazine's top 30 nu metal songs from 2017 is when it was posted. So at number 30 is Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. No one's going to deny that's not a kick-ass song with a badass riff. But it's been hotly debated if whether or not Rage Against the Machine is in fact a nu metal band. There is another podcast that I listen to from time to time. I've advertised for them plenty, so why not continue? And that's the Roach Coach, which if you like nu metal, you got to listen to the Roach Coach podcast. And they have a term on their show called Papas. And it's basically are they nu metal? Not necessarily, but without what they were doing, I don't know that nu metal would have ever came into fruition as we know it. So I get that. Now, Rage has kind of pushed back on the whole thing. I think their bass player once said that if he knew Limp Bizkit was going to happen, they never would have done what they did. And I think he's just being a dickhead. And I like a lot of Rage. I think they're a little bit overrated. It's kind of like the, Nirvana and some of these other bands, Sublime. You only put out a couple of albums, your body of work doesn't get judged as harshly. If they put out 7 or 8 albums and a couple of them were stinkers, maybe we'd feel different. I digress, doesn't matter. Number 30, Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. Great song. Don't know that I would call it nu metal. Number 29, the one that got us here, Waste by Scrape. And if you remember me talking about this one on the show, which if you listen to it Tuesday, it should be fresh in your mind, that riff, that opening riff to this song spoke to Monster's 16-year-old soul. I loved this song, and I still think it's a killer nu metal song. So Not mad at that. I'm glad to see a lesser known band there, because I did kind of glance at the next couple, and they are probably the least well known of these next few. So anyway, number 28, Dig by Mudvayne. Depending on where this list goes, that might should have been higher, because that song sort of had like a resurgence over the past. Well, okay, this came out in 2017. I guess maybe that hadn't hit yet, but that ding, ding, like that became a meme out of nowhere. And I believe as time of recording this, middle of May, Mudvayne just announced a 20 or 25 year anniversary of LD50 with that song on it. So that'd be pretty cool. I actually saw them just a couple years ago open for Rob Zombie. Still great live, a lot of energy, a lot of fun. 27 is Control by Puddle of Mud. Ew. No. Yet again, I don't know that we consider Puddle of Mud nu metal. That's more like post-grunge kind of nonsense. And no, I wouldn't put, first of all, I wouldn't put them on this list, period. And I sure as shit wouldn't have put that song. Maybe Blurry, but again, it's not nu metal. So I don't know. Number 26, Mud Shovel by Stained. That's a good song. That is a lot of fun. That's one of the first Stained songs I ever heard. It was before they got more acoustic based. It's got a great bass line, super simple, but nice and heavy. Used to cover that song in some bands. It always went over well with the heavy crowd, so not mad at that. Number 25, New Disease by Spineshank. Spineshank is a band I have mentioned on the show plenty of times. Huge fan of those guys. We will definitely do a Spineshank record. New Disease is probably in my top 10, possibly top 5 Spineshank songs. Not mad at that. Number 24, Poem by Taproot. Okay, so I struggle with this because I know that's the song most people know Taproot by. I don't love it. Like, for me, the album before that one, I believe that was their second record, I believe it was called Welcome. The one before it has the hands on the cover, and it's a little weirder. And I just like the sound of that record better, so I'm not mad at it. I'm glad to see Taproot on here. It is a good song. It's just not one of my favorite Taproot songs. Number 23 is Brackish by Kitty. That song rules. I love that song. I remember hearing that song as a kid when it first came out, probably in like maybe 2000, 2001, maybe even a little earlier than that, and just being like, holy hell, I'm into this. And what was really funny was the music video. Because if you don't know who Kitty is, it's for young ladies. And at the time, they, were much younger. They were probably, I think when that first album came out, they were like still in their teens. Maybe one or two of them were in their early 20s, but they were young. And in the video, they're all dressed like wearing like skirts and like knee-high boots and everything sparkly and shiny. And the song is brutally heavy. And I was like, whoa, I am into this. They kind of got a little more just metal. Like that first album's very grungy, and then they got a little more metal, and they've kind of gone back and forth with nu metal. Their newest album, it's something Fire or Flames or something. I think that one's pretty good. It's definitely more straightforward metal than like bouncy nu metal, but it's good. So anyway, number 22, Bleed by Soulfly. Okay. Now, I have not mentioned Soulfly too much on the show, but Max Cavalera's band Soulfly, those first 2, maybe 3 Soulfly albums are bangers. The first one, which is where Bleed comes from, is a little bit experimental, and Primitive, the one that came after it, is a little bit more straightforward, but it's still very experimental. Max, if you don't know anything about Max Cavalera, he was the lead singer of Sepultura. He's done other bands, Cavalera Conspiracy, some other stuff. And with Soulfly, there's this little twinge of like religion added to it. There's a lot of references to Jesus and God and letting your soul free, but there's a lot of pain and angst. It has a lot to do with, I believe, his oh gosh, I'm going to get this wrong. His brother or stepbrother or stepson or something being murdered, and that's where a lot of the stuff comes from. And what's cool about those first couple Soulfly records is there are tons of guests. So he's on any given song. You might hear Benji from Skindred, or you might hear Fred Durst or Chino Marino. And if I'm not mistaken, Bleed, I want to say is Chino, because I've seen it live with other guys. I think I've even seen Brandon Boyd from Incubus do it with them. But yeah, that one's that's a good song. I'm cool with that. Number 21, Black by Seven Dust. What a good song. What a good song. Seven Dust is one of those bands that I feel is super underrated. They have been around for so long, have put out so many solid, consistent records, and LeJean Witherspoon's voice is just butter. So yes, again, I don't know that Black would be my favorite Seven Dust song, but I do feel like that's a good, that's the first one most people heard. Maybe a little later, Denial off of their second album. I like the mix on Home, their second record. But then Animosity and Seasons, they've always had this great mix. The guitar tone is great. LeJean's voice is great. Hard to pick just one Seven Dust song, but Black's a good one. We'll go with that. Oh, here we go. Number 20, Bartender by Hed PE. Now we're talking. Yeah, okay. Obviously, that would probably be in my top 10. Everybody knows how much I love Hed PE. So glad to see it here. Honestly, I mean, not mad at that. That's probably the most mainstream they ever got, which is kind of sad. But doesn't matter. Bartender, great song. Happy to see it. All right, number 19, Across the Nation by the Union Underground. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I know this song. I've listened to the Union Underground. They never really stuck out to me. There's a couple of bands like that. Like, I know a lot of people like American Head Charge. A lot of people like Nothing Face. And I've got nothing against those bands. I just never got into them. So, judging from some of the other things I've already listed, I feel like maybe this should have been a little higher on the list, if at all. But there's probably a Union Underground super fan out there right now yelling at me saying this is the best song on the list. I will listen to it. So, number 18, Giving In by Edema. Not mad at that. Love me some Edema. Check out our Edema episode where we talk about that album. Great song. I'm cool with that. Number 17 is Loco by Cold Chamber. I could argue this should be a little bit higher. That song is, for nu metal people, that song is an all-timer. I remember getting that CD when it first came out in 98 or something like that, 97. And me and my buddy Roger would sit in my room and just headbang as hard as we could to that. Dun, 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 dun. Loved it. Absolutely love it. Still heavy as hell today. Great song. If anything, maybe a little higher. Number 16, Push It by Static X. Another one, just gnarly. Just that driving beat, Wayne Static's voice. Yeah, you push it. Yeah. All-timer. If anything, again, maybe a little bit higher, but then again, who knows what this top 10 is going to look like. So, not mad at that at all. 15, Saliva, Click, Click, Boom. I guess. I don't know. Saliva's another one of those bands that yes, they kind of rap. Yes, they kind of bounce and have some heavy riffs. It's hard to call them nu metal, though. It's more like, it's like Nickelback with the occasional hip hop beat. I don't know. I liked that song a lot when it first came out, but I don't think it's aged as well as some of these other ones. All right, number 14, The Key to Gramercy Park by Dead Sea. I never liked Dead Sea. They were like the poor man's orgy. And I felt like Videodrone was already the poor man's orgy. We didn't need another one. So for me, I'm not a big fan of the song. Apparently the lead singer is the son of Dwayne Allman and Cher, I believe. As nutbag gonzo as that sounds, I believe that is true. Not a fan. And it's kind of that techno-y thing that was kind of nu metal adjacent, so I guess we'll give it to them. But I would not have included Dead Sea on this list. Number 13, Butterfly by Crazy Town. This is a tough one because is Crazy Town nu metal? Absolutely. Is Butterfly a nu metal song? I mean, I guess. It's a great song. I can't deny that it's earwormy as hell, and there's a reason it still gets played on the radio, but I don't know. That's tough to argue one way or the other. I'm just glad it's not in the top 10. If it was in the top 10, I'd have a bit of a problem, but okay. Butterfly, Crazy Town, 13. Wow. Okay. So number 12 is Bodies by Drowning Pool. Yeah, it should be on the list, but number 12? Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's like the greatest song in the world or anything, but when it comes to nu metal, like anthems that people know, I thought that would be in the top 5. I really, really did. At least the top 10. I'm kind of shocked that it's number 12. It's fine. I used to cover that one too in some bands. People always went nuts for it, so not mad at it. That's all right. Should have been a little higher, but okay. Number 11 is Wait and Bleed by Slipknot. Great song. I think Slipknot's first album is probably my favorite. A lot of people like Iowa, the one that came after it, but the first one I think is a little bit more in you new, and I kind of like it better. Wait and Bleed is a great song off of that album. So I guess you got to put a Slipknot song. Why not that one? I'm cool with that. Number 10 is Stitches by Orgy. Wow. Okay. So love that song. Candy Ass is a really cool album. I'm not mad that Stitches is here. I don't know if it's a top 10 though. Wow. And Orgy is another one of those bands that, is it new? I mean, yes, they were on Family Values. Yes, they got lumped into that category, but it's more like an updated Depeche Mode. So I don't know. Again, I love the song though, so I'll stick with that. It's cool. All right, number 9, When Worlds Collide by Power Man 5000. Yeah, I think that one is a classic. Again, a little high in my opinion, but it's got such a great beat. Spider One's voice, if you know him, he's Rob Zombie's little brother. You can hear that even in the like, oh, are you ready to go? Are you ready? Like it has that kind of like groove to it. So cool with that, definitely. All right, number 8, Boom by POD. Surprised to see POD this high, but at the same time, that's a killer song. And that whole album, Satellite, was one of the biggest nu metal albums of all time. It managed to be heavy and have all the trappings of nu metal, but still be bright and polished and very positive in message. So not mad at that. Cool to see him up here that high. And okay, here you go. Spoiler alert. If you are not watching this, you're just listening to it. I am wearing a Limp Bizkit t-shirt because I thought the number 1 was going to be Break Stuff. It's not. Number 7 is Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. Okay. With that being said, and I swear to you, I am not looking ahead. I am just right here, right now at number 7. My prediction will be number 1 will be Blind by Korn. Not because it's the best song, but because of the cultural impact it had. But we'll get there. So number 7, Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. Ay caramba. I thought this would be number 1. Because to me, this is the most anthemic, the most, I don't want to say the most nu metal song ever, but just about. This is another one that we used to cover all the time as like the last song of the night. People would lose their minds. It was awesome. It was so much fun to play. I'm really shocked that this is number 7. I honestly thought it was number 1. So, okay, I guess we'll keep on rolling. How about that? Okay, number 6, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. All right, I don't know who's over there at Spin Magazine, but they need to take a nap and rewrite this. Down with the Sickness is a cool song. It's not even close to the best song on Down with the Sickness or the best song by Disturbed. I get why it would be the one to make a list because it was popular, but I wouldn't put that there. Number 5, In the End by Linkin Park. Again, not my favorite Linkin Park song, but it's hugely popular. I understand why, if you had to just pick one Linkin Park song, it would be that one. I feel like something like Faint or something like, I don't know, One Step Closer is a little bit more nu metal, quote unquote, but not mad at that. I'm glad Linkin Park's there. I feel like they deserve to be in the top 5, so I'm not mad at it. Number 4, Chop Suey by System of a Down. Sure. I don't know if this has come up on the show much, but System of a Down is one of those nu metal bands I never fully got into. I had Toxicity, I had Steal This Album, I had the self-titled one, or whatever it was called, the one before Toxicity. I liked them, but I just never got it. I never fully embraced it. I think Chop Suey's a fun song, another one I've covered a few times. I get why it's up here, not mad at that. Number 3, My Own Summer by Deftones. Again, I have trouble arguing that. Deftones is not one of my favorite bands. We talk about Deftones every other episode on our damn show. But Around the Fur, Adrenaline, and even some of White Pony, that stretch of 3 albums, I'm pretty much all into. In My Own Summer, incredible riff. One of my favorite riffs to play on guitar. It's undeniably catchy. It's a classic. So again, number 3 is a little high, but you got to put Deftones pretty high up there, I guess. So, okay. Number 2, Last Resort, Papa Roach. I'm actually surprised it's that high, but I get it. I remember the first time I heard that song, and I knew it was going to be a hit, even when I was only, maybe 15 years old or something when that came out. But yeah, it's still wild to me that a song with lyrics that dark became so hugely popular by basically playing a hip-hop beat behind a Iron Maiden riff. But hey, not mad at it. It's a cool song. Papa Roach is still putting out solid records. So yeah, so here we go. Number 1, here's your predictions. I already told you mine. I think it's going to be Blind by Korn. But here we go. Drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1. It is Korn, but it's Freak on a Leash. I don't know. I kind of have to sit with that for a minute. I understand why they would pick that. It is probably the biggest song Korn has ever had. I mean, that was number 1 on TRL. It was beating NSYNC and Britney Spears and stuff. So I get that. But when you think of the pantheon of Korn, like their legacy to nu metal, I don't know. I struggle with that because I feel like Blind is so significant, but also Freak on a Leash is probably the height of nu metal popularity ever. So, okay, I'm not mad at it. I will go with that. I still am in shock that it wasn't Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. I think if somebody did this today, which I know people have, and maybe, if you guys want to send me a newer list, something you want me to react to that just came out in like 2025, I would love to do that. It'd be cool to see what's different and what's the same. So yeah, there you have it. According to Spin Magazine back in 2017, these were the 30 best nu metal songs of all time. I agree with some of it. I strongly disagree with some of the rest of it. But let me know what you think. You tell me. Does this list make sense to you? What would you change? What would you add? Let Monster know. Let the NuMetal Monster know what you think. Thank you guys for hanging out and listening. As always, shoot us an email, breakdownsbreakfast@gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. Come find us. Come talk to us. Come hang out. And yeah. Hope you have a good day.